Okay guys, now let's get started with another new video. तो ये हम शुरू करने वाले हैं. Now let's get started with this shit. Okay, now let's just start with our crime and punishment. Crime and punishment by our Fyodor Dostoevsky. तो शुरू करते हैं. I don't care. चलो चैप्टर 1 शुरू करते हैं. और यहाँ पर जो हमारा प्रोटैगनिस्ट है, प्रोटैगनिस्ट का हमारा जो नाम है आपको पता होगा कि सुना भी आपको इस बुक के बना आपने सुना भी होगा. इस बुक में जो प्रोटैगनिस्ट है वो हमारा है रॉस्कॉल्निकॉव की रॉस्कॉल्निकॉव है. तो सर प्रोनाउंस थोड़ा ये है पर हो जाता है वो रॉस्कॉल्निकॉव. वो तो आइसोलेटेड में है. शुरू में देखेंगे वो थोड़ा आइसोलेटेड में है. और आइसोलेट में जो करता है वो करता है. ये थोड़ा सा साइकोलॉजिकल ये थोड़ा नहीं ज़्यादा ही साइकोलॉजिकल वाला नॉवल है. तो चलो शुरू करते हैं इसके बारे में. तो आप एक विनती करूँगा कि आप साइड में फ़ोन सिर्फ फ़ोन बोलता हूँ जो साइड में बुक रख रहिए, ईयरफोन लगा लीजिए और शुरू करते हैं हम चैप्टर 1. तो चैप्टर 1 शुरू करते हैं. On an exceptionally hot earlier in the July, a young man came out of a crate in which locked his placed walked slowly, as though as hesitation towards the bridge. He had successfully avoided the meeting of landlord's staircase. His gradient under a roof of high pride house has been coupled like a room. The landlady who provided him with a garnet dinner and tendency lived on the floor below. Every time he went, he obliged her pass her kitchen the door. Okay. ये मतलब यहाँ बोल रही है रहा कि मतलब इसको जो लैंड लेडी था वो जो हमेशा नीचे रहती था. उसका जो लैंड लेडी थी वो हमेशा नीचे रहती थी. उसके लिए खाना देती थी घर के साथ. बट अभी वो उसका क्या बोलते हैं वो भी डर रहा है किसी लैंड लेडी से मिलने के लिए. वो डर रहा है. क्यों डर रहा है कौन जाए. This is not because he was cowardly, adjective quite contrary, but for some time past, and time past he had been over of strain, irritable situation, irritable situation of himself. So he isolated himself fellow from desire of meeting, and unmeeting of him he became a completely absorbed himself, isolated from the late fellows and dear meeting only the landlady, but not anyway. He crushed his by poverty anxieties. मतलब सिंपल इस पैराग्राफ से ये समझ लो कि वो अभी बहुत अकेला है. आप वो बड़ा ही अकेला है. वो तो बड़ा ही अकेला है. अगले पे चलते हैं. दिस इवनिंग हाउएवर ऑन कमिंग आउट ऑफ द स्ट्रीट. अब ये बहुत दिनों के बाद बाहर निकला है वो. यहाँ पर हम दोस्त की हमें बोल रहे हैं कि वो बहुत दिनों के बाद वो बाहर निकला है आज. देखते हैं क्या करता है बाहर निकलने के बाद. I want to attempt a thing like that. I am frightened. This tries, he thought, and the old smile. Oh yes, all men in the hand. Let me slip of the cowardice, and there be an accession. And I would be interesting to know what do the men and are most afraid of taking a new step, uttering a word, the uttering word they fear most. I am talking too much. अब वो पूछ रहा है कि अब वो खुद से बात कर रहे हैं कि आज मैं कुछ नया चीज़ करने वाला, आज मैं कुछ नया ये करने वाला हूँ. और वो बोलता है कि लोग किससे सबसे ज़्यादा डरते हैं. सबसे ज़्यादा लोग किससे डरते हैं क्योंकि जब डरते हैं तब वो बड़े टेंशन में आ जाते हैं. वो क्या बोलते हैं वर्ड्स को बार बार रिपीट करते हैं नहीं तो थुथला जाते हैं. जैसे हम सिंपल वर्ड में बोल सकते हैं कि वो थुथला जाते हैं वो. It would be interesting to know what the men are most afraid of taking new steps, uttering new words in the fear most. But I am talking too much because I chatter and do nothing, or perhaps it's chatter because I do nothing. I have learned chatter last month, lying on for the days together in the den, thinking the jack of the giant killer whom I am going to be there, capable of doing is that serious. Is not serious at all. Simple fantasy to assume myself a plaything. Yes, maybe me. It is a plaything. It is the heat in the street was terrible. Was an airlessness. मतलब अभी देखो इस heat the carelessness इसका मतलब हम ये समझ सकते हैं कि वहाँ पर जो था वो we like think we can say that it would be a इट वुड बी इट वुड बी अ सीज़न ऑफ समर, उस समर सीज़न था बोल सकते हैं, मतलब ऐसा भी अभी भी समर सीज़न चल रहा है अभी, सही से आया नहीं है बट बोल सकते हैं अप्रैल का महीना है ये, मीन्स व्हाट वी कैन से। तो दैट्स ऑल। सो and the heat in the street was terrible, and the endlessness, the burst of plaster, scattering bricks and dust, and all about him was a special. Peter stitching so familiar, who were unable to get out of town in the summer, and all worked painfully upon the young man already overworked nervousness. He in insufferable stretches of his foothouse, which was particularly numerous in the part of the town, and the drunken man whom he met continuously, although it was the working day, complete revolving misery of picture. अभी जो है, अभी जो जो हीट डे अभी क्या बोले, एक गर्मी का दिन है, गर्मी का दिन चल रहा है, वो रास्ते में चल रहा है, बड़ा सा हैट पहना है, वो आगे देंगे क्या क्या पहने, बड़ा सा हैट पहना है, वो जा रहा है, अभी वो सामने से एक ड्रंकन आदमी को मिलता है, एक ड्रंकन आदमी को मिलता है, और जो पिया हुआ जो आदमी उसको मिलता है, and an expression of the founder more digest, and a founder more digest from the moment in the young man to refined face. He was the by the way exceptionally handsome, और यहाँ पर बोल रहे कि उसका बड़ा ही हैंडसम था आदमी, ये जो हमारा रस्कलनिकॉव था वो बड़ा ही हैंडसम था, उसका एवरेज का हाइट था, स्लिम बॉडी था, वेल डिप्लेड, डार्क आइज, डार्क ब्राउन हेयर, वो सब है, completely blankness in on the mind. He was walked around observing what about him was not caring what observed to. From a time to time he would mutter something from a habit of talking to himself. मतलब उसका बड़ा अच्छा हैबिट था कि बड़ा अच्छा ये जो बोला, क्योंकि वो ना खुद से ही बड़ा बात कर रहा था, मतलब खुद से जो तो बना के वो बात कर रहा था. He would become the unconscious of his idea where something is tangled. He was very weak for 2 days. He was secretly tested पर मतलब अभी वो यहाँ इस लाइन से पता चलता है कि वो बड़ा ही भूखा था, वो बड़ा ही ये था, भूखा था, वो सब था बोल सकते हैं. He was badly dressed, even a man acquainted and make attuned to sandalness would have been ashamed to see him the scenes in such a rag in a quarter of the town. However, the secret shortcoming in the dress would be greater surprise, owning a proximity of high market, the number of establishment of bad character, the preponderance of the street and alley in the heart of the Peterburg's type of variation has been seen in the street, with that no figure, however queer, would have been caused surprise. But there's such an accumulation, bitterness, and contempt the young man's heart, spite of the first news of the youth. He minded him his rag at least all the is at least rags, at least it is different matter when he meet an argument on the farmer fellows, and then who indeed he disliked a meeting at any point, the 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 and the dent whom he indeed he disliked meeting at the time, and the dent who became he disliked meeting at any time, and when a drunken man whom no reason was taken somewhere hugged and drugged by him. तो ये हो रहा था, मतलब वो थोड़ा सा पर्सनैलिटी का थोड़ा डिस्क्राइब किया है यहाँ पर कि किस तरह का आदमी है वो. तो देखते हैं. Heavy drunk suddenly shouted at him. He drove fast. Hey there, German hatter. वो बोलता है hey there, German hatter बोलता है वो, bawling at the top of voice, either pointing at him. A young man stopped suddenly and clutched tenderly at his hat, and he was tall, long. A tall, German, completely worn, rusty, unseen fashion, no seam, however, was kite, feeling skin, and terror was overtaken. I knew it, he muttered. I knew it. मतलब उसको खुद से बात करके बोल रहे हैं कि सोचो कि एक आदमी गर्म सा रोड से जा रहा है, मतलब समर सीजन चल रहा है ना ऐसे ही, तो वो गर्म सा रोड में जा रहा है, पीछे आपको बुला है जो आप चाहते नहीं हो, चाहते क्योंकि वो कुछ काम करने के लिए जा रहा है, मतलब कुछ अच्छा काम, मतलब कुछ जो नया काम करने के जा रहा है. हम देखने वाले हैं क्या काम करने वाला है, काम मतलब कोई वो वाला काम नहीं, बट अदर टाइप ऑफ का. He knew. I knew it, he muttered at the confusion. I thought so. That's worst of all. Why a stupid thing like this most terrible detail might be spoiled. The whole plan, yes, my true notice, my able, it looked like observed to make a noticeable with my rags. I oath my cap, I coughed old pancake, but not a gustal thing. Nobody wears such a hat. It is not noticeable miles away. It would remember what matters in the hats would remember would be them a clue for this business. One should be one uh, for this business one should be so says give conscious fixes as possible. Triple is what's the matter, why, yeah, it just triple is, it always ruins everything. मतलब वो बोल रहा है कि ट्रिपल से मतलब ये जो बिजनेस कर रहा है, ये जो काम कर रहा है उसमें कुछ भी गलती नहीं होना चाहिए. मतलब नो गलती शुड नो नो सिंगल मिस्टेक शुड बी देयर. ऐसा क्या काम कर रहा है यहाँ पर. अभी हमें जो रीडर है उसके लिए क्वेश्चन आता है कि हम ये क्या करने की कोशिश कर रहा है जिसमें जिसमें ऐसा ना हो कि कोई देख ले तुम्हें कि तुम क्या करने वाले हो. तुम देख रहे हो क्या करने वाला है. जैसा आप सुने होंगे समर सुने होंगे या कुछ भी सुनेगा तो पता होगा ये क्या करने वाला है. अभी मैं नहीं बताऊँगा. जो लोग नहीं सुने उनका मैं ढंग नहीं बात करूँगा. पर बट आई थिंक मोस्टली अभी बट अगर आपने नहीं सुना है तो मत सुनो. धीरे धीरे मज़ा उठाओ ताकि हम धीरे धीरे जाएंगे इसके भीतर. चलते. He had not so far to go. He knew indeed how many steps it was been gate for login house. Exactly 730 of the steps I think possible. He had counted them once he had been lost in the dream, and at the time he put his no faith in the dreams was translating himself a hiddenness of reconness. Now the month later he had began to look upon it differently in spite of monologue. He jerked off. Sorry. He involuntarily came to regards to hiddenness in the dream exploited attempted. मतलब उसके ड्रीम में काफ़ी सारे सपने देखते रहता है. वो जस्ट वही है. He didn't realize this himself. He was positively going now a rehearsal of his project. रिहर्सल मतलब वो कुछ रिहर्सल करने वाला. मतलब कुछ भी एक्सरसाइज करने से पहले उसको एक बार प्रैक्टिस कर लेना. लाइक अ फुल सिचुएशन जैसे असली में हो रहा है वैसे वो कर देना उसको रिहर्सल. And very step his excitement grew more and more violent. With a stinking heart of nervous tremor he went up at a huge house with on a side looked of candle and other side into his house. The house was let out of statement of inherited in the working people of all the German kind, tailor, locksmith. The house was let up. मतलब इस हाउस में मतलब जो ये जो घर है उसमें गया था, इसमें वो गया था, उसमें हर प्रकार के लोग थे. टेलर थे यानी जो क्या बोलते हैं कपड़े सिलता है. ब्लैक स्मिथ लॉक हमारा जो लॉक बनाता है ब्लैक स्मिथ ने लॉक बनाता है. कुक सारे थे यहाँ पर. जर्मन सभी German sort was continuously coming, going through two gates of two courtyards of the house. 3 and 4 doors keeper employed on the building. The young man was glad to meet none of them. Was one slave noticed through the door on the right upon a staircase. It was back staircase, dark and narrow, but he was familiar with it already. Knew it was the way he liked all the surrounding and the darkness, even the inquisitive eyes. He was scared. I am so scared now. What would be it been somehow come past there is going to be. He would be help asking himself. It is the 40th story. There is moving for furniture out of the flat. He knew the flat was occupied by German clerk, civil service. Civil service and an old woman. That's a good thing anyway. He thought himself. He rang the bell and the old woman fled. The bell was tinkled as through the air was made of tin and not copper. The little flag in such a house always had a bell like that. He had forgotten the note of the bell, and a veritable tinkle seems to remind him something to bring clearly before him. He started his nervous terrible. I was तो डरने लगा है भाई, क्या किस किस चीज़ के लिए डर रहा पता नहीं. He started his nervousness was terribly overstrained by now. In a little while the door opened, door opened tiny crack. The whole moment eyed her visitor in very disturbed through the crack, and nothing would see by her little house glittering in darkness, but seeing a number of people landing, he grew bolder and opened the door widely. The young man stepped into the dark entity and a person अब वो डूब गया. मतलब उसकी जो भीतर जो थी उसको देखी, पर मुझे इतने सारे लोग कसम कोई होगा, तो इसलिए वो खोल दी दरवाज़ा. इसी से जो हमारा जो प्रोटैगनिस्ट है, रॉस्कोनिगॉव थोड़ा सा ही हो रहा है जी, बोलो रॉस्कोनिगॉव, वो थोड़ा घुस गया. Raskolnikov was dark energy which was present of his tiny kitchen. He was denoted a witness of a woman of 60, the sharp of magnificent eyes and sharp letter the nose. Her colorless, somewhat grizzling hair was thickly smelt the oil. She wore no ketchup over it. Round thing, long neck which is locked like a hand leg, but not like some sort of flag. And in spite of the heat, there were flying shoulders of Maggie for a cave yellow slant. The young man must have looked at her rather the young man must have rather the penitent cynical, for the gleam of a mistrust came into her ears again. Raskolnikov, a student, I came here. यहाँ पर जो हमारा जो पहली बार यहाँ पर है, यहाँ पर चल रहा है कि इसका नाम क्या है, रास्कोल्निकोव. निकोव इसका जो नाम है. यहाँ पर हमारा जो रीडर है सबसे पता चलता है कि वो स्टूडेंट है, रास्कोल्निकोव. आई केम हियर अ मंथ एगो. यंग मैन मेड हेजिटेंट मटर इन द हाफ बोम. तब देखो यहाँ पर सब डर रहा है क्योंकि स्टूडेंट है भाई, स्टूडेंट ज़्यादा डरेगा नहीं. आई रास्कोल्निकोव, स्टूडेंट, आई केम हियर अ month ago. I remember, my good sir, I remember quite so as well. Coming here, our old man said disdainfully, still keeping her English eyes on his face. और रास्कोल्निकोव में पहले ऊपर चले गया. And here I am again, the same Raskolnikov continued, a little discontent and surprise, the woman mistrust. Perhaps she is always like through, and I did not notice it. Over time, he thought, uneasy feeling. The old weaver paused, as though hesitating, then stopped on the side, pointing the door on the room. She said, letting the visitor pass in front of her. Step in my God, sir. Step in my God, sir. The little into which the young man walked. The yellow paper on the wall, luminous Muslim curtains in the windows, brightly light of the moon setting of the room. मतलब यहाँ पर बोल रहे कि मतलब लाइट आ रहा है सभी तरफ से, यहाँ से ही आ रहा है, वहाँ से वो आ रहा है, मतलब रूम के बारे में बता रहा है. अब हमारा जो दोस्त की हमारा बोल रहे हैं सन. So the sun will shine like this. Them two fluxed is over by chance. To Raskolnikov mind with a rapid glance, he scanned everything in the room and trying as far possible to notice everything and remember the arrangement. अभी यहाँ पे पापा शक आ रहा है कि क्या करने वाले, क्योंकि वो अभी भी वो सारा चीज़ को नोटिस कर रहा है, मतलब हर एक चीज़ को, मतलब कौन सी चीज़ कहाँ पर है वो सारा नोटिस कर रहा है. So we as a reader we get suspicious why he is doing it like a mess, because अगर आप किसी घर जाते हो तो आप सोचते हो कि क्यों, मतलब मैं थोड़ा देखोगे कि हाँ क्या है क्या नहीं है, और आप इतना भी नोटिस नहीं करोगे. देखते हैं. Trying as far as possible to notice, remember arrangement, but there was nothing special in the room. The furniture was very old, yellow wood, so called a sofa, huge bed, and was one looking and glass fixed between the windows and chair along the walls. Two and a half of penny prints, yellow frames representing German decimals with a bird in the yellow hands. And that was all. The corner in the light was burning before a small icon. Everything was clean. The floor was furniture and so brightly over everything signed Lizarveta works. through the young man. This was not a speak of dust and silver hole. It's not the house or spectacle old window in one finds such ugliness. Raskolnikov thought again. He stole curious glance on the curtain over the door leading to another tiny room in which stood a old woman bed and chest drawer. Into he had never looked before. The two rooms were made of whole flat. What do you want? The old maker said vigorously. Into the room and before the उसको बोल के वो दूसरी तरफ देख रहा था तब और तब जो लेडी था जिसका ये फंसो आया था हमारे जो रस्कलनिकॉव वो पूछते कि तुम्हें क्या चाहिए रस्कलनिकॉव स्टैंडिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिम सो आई ब्रॉट समथिंग टू पॉन यू मतलब कुछ मांगने के लिए आई ड्रू आउट द पॉकेट एंड ओल्ड फैशन मतलब देने के लिए ओल्ड फैशन सिल्वर वॉच बैक ऑफ इट एंड द ग्लोब एंड द चेन ऑफ द थिंग but the time was half pleased. The month has been day before yesterday. I will bring the interest for another month. Wait for a little, but that's for me. I please you, good sir. I will wait you some sell you place at once. So much I will give you a watch. Hello, Notria. Now you came with us such a triple is my good sir. I scarcely worth everything I gave you. Two troubleness last time your rings you would buy anything. I quite a jeweler of behalf. Give me four rubles. Give me 4 rubles. मैं कुछ बेचने के लिए आया था मतलब कुछ सामान दे रहा था तो दे रहा give me 4 rubles. I shall redeem this my father. I shall giving a ruble and half and मतलब and interest in advance if you like. बोला कि कुछ बेच रहा हूँ सिल्वर वॉच बेच रहा था तो सिल्वर वॉच बेच रहा था तो बोला कि ये लो मुझे 4 रुपये चाहिए था वो लेडी बोलती नहीं मैं तो दूंगी 1.5 रुपये लेंगे रुपये यानी ये रशियन का आई थिंक रशियन का एक करेंसी होगा रशियन का करेंसी होगा नॉट a ruble and half cried the young man. Please yourself and the old woman handed him the bag and watch. The young man wanted to and so angry that he okay. It was to the point of going away, but he checked himself at once and remembering that there was nowhere else he would go, and he had anything object also in coming. Hand it over, and he said roughly. The old man flung him in her pocket in her hands and disappeared behind the curtains. यानी मतलब एक ऐसा बोल सकते हो कि एक कर्टन के सामने एक रूम के सामने था इसमें एक कर्टन था वो कर्टन ऐसा 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 था जिसमें वो बोले कि हाँ ये पकड़ो ये तो वो बोल दिया कि ये पकड़ो ये तो इसमें और वो बोले हाँ पर वो बोले उसको लेके कर्टन के भीतर चले गए अब मैं इमेजिन कर सकते हैं मतलब मुस्लिम चढ़ का वो कर्टन था सब बिना पैसे मैंने पढ़ा था मैंने ओके hand over to me. The old woman flung it in her pocket in her keys and disappeared behind the curtains in the other room. The young man was standing alone in the middle of the room, listening in distant thinking. He would hear her unlock the chest of drawer. It must be the top drawer. He reflected. So he carried and so she cries the keys in the pocket or on the right or one of the bunch of the steel rings and there is one key there 3 times a big others. Steve notices that there cannot be the key or the chest or there must be some other chest in the strong box. The worthy knowing strong boxes always. The old woman came back. Here sir, as we say, 10 cheap pockets ruble a month. I have taken 15 cheap pockets from the ruble and half odd a month advance, but for the 2 rubles I will lend you before I owe you 20 chipoks and I must give you rubles and 15 chipoks for watch here. Here it is. What's only a ruble 15 chipoks now? Was just so. The young man did not dispute it and took the money. He looked at the old woman and in no hurry get away and sell some things he wanted to sell. Oh, what is himself. This quite a know what. I may be bringing something else in the two on this to Eloe Elona Lavona, a valuable thing, silver cigarette box, and Elona La uh, Ivo वानोवना जो भी है बोल सकते हो होगा तो he broke off in the confusion. Well, well, we'll think then, sir. Goodbye. And so, are you always home alone? Your sister is not here with you? He asked her, and casually as possible he went. The place, what's business is of you, my good sir? Oh, nothing particular. I just simply asked you to a quick day and good day, Alona Lavona. इसका जो नाम था वो था कब का आलोना लावानोवा इसका जो दूसरे कैरेक्टर का नाम है जो जिससे जो पैसा लिया था वो दिया था लावाना Raskolnikov went out in complete confusion. His confusion became more and more intense as he was doing stairs. He would step out his 2 and 3 times as though it was possible nonsense to be reached. His always added is a very 50 things in his couple heart and couple years. It is favorite is disgusting locksmith. No words of the exclamation of his feeling of intense from his friend he didn't passers and against them and on only came in senses in the next day. Looking around, he noticed standing close to the tavern which he was entered by the steps leading to the pavement of the basement. An instant, two drunken men came out from the door. दो ठो पियक्कर लोग आ गए बाहर से and the payment and the incense to drunken Yamatmadhuram abusing, supporting one another. They went to step down until till the moment they never by thirst, and they longed for a drink and a cold beer and attributed his sudden weakness and wanted to food and see and drains and able to dark and dirty corner and eagerly at the once he felt his ear his thought became clear. Okay, now यहाँ तक हम पढ़ रहे हैं आज के लिए it's I think part 1. So for today is the thanks this part 1. So I think if you like then subscribe to VR later. So say goodbye. Kind.